Hi there, namaste. Welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today I am taking a look at what your spirit guides wish you saw in yourself. Now today's reading is super special because it is in collaboration with the beautiful, wonderful, talented psychic Siren Tarot, where she's taking a look at what your higher self wishes you saw about yourself. And this is going to be such a beautiful, beautiful reading. I'm so excited for this collaboration. So if you like the reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. And go send some love over on Psychic Siren Tarot's channel as well. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out so much. And this reading is just filled with love. I'm so excited to see what comes through today. So, please take a deep breath. And as you inhale, draw the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. As you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has a message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left, with Messenger and the Dumortierite crystal. We have group number 2 in the center with Weight of the World and the Tiger's Eye crystal. And we have group number 3 on the right with Deep Cellular Healing and the Fire Opal crystal. As always, the timestamps are listed below in the description box, as well as any information you might want from me and the link to your other reading at Psychic Siren Tarot. Thank you again so much for being here. I'm so grateful for all of you, and do know how incredibly and extraordinarily loved you are by me and the universe. I'll see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're taking a look at what your spirit guides wish you saw more of in yourself. And you selected the first group with the Messenger card and the Dumortierite crystal. Now, Dumortierite is all about organization and connecting the dots. It's all about crossing the T's, dotting the I's, getting your ducks in a row, all of those cute little analogies. But really, this is also a crystal that helps you stay focused. However, Dumortierite can help you stay organized. It is connected to the 5th chakra here, the throat chakra, as well as the zodiac sign of Virgo, which is very grounded. So this is letting yourself express yourself fully in a way that is very concise. It helps you find precision. Having a Dumortierite in your pocket while you're trying to do those perfect paint strokes, and maybe you're having a hard time drawing that straight, fine line. Dumortierite can give you a little bit more confidence, a little more precision, a little more body awareness, and a little more brain focus. I personally call this like the lion's mane of crystals. But take it however it resonates with you. Now, this lets me know, group number 1, that your spirit guides want to let you know that you are more on top of things than you're giving yourself credit for. They wish that you saw how organized you were. There are some things in your life where they're showing me 2 examples, okay? Like you are where you wanted to be a long time ago, and that there are a lot of things about your life that other people might desire or want. And this isn't like a comparison or jealousy type thing. This is just your spirit guides wishing that you saw in yourself that you have come a long way. You have achieved a lot. You are very focused. You're very determined. And you have this perfectionism quality to you where whatever is perfect to you is what you move forward with. And that's what you focus on. Because everybody kind of has their own idea of perfect. And zooming that way out, we also know that everything in the universe is perfect, even the flaws, even the imperfections, because the universe doesn't make mistakes. And you are so precise in the way that you focus, the way that you show up every single day, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you treat others. Your spirit guides wish you saw more in yourself. For some of you, what's coming up immediately is your morals and your virtues. Maybe you have personal policies that you follow. Maybe you really strictly follow certain ideologies that allow you to express yourself in a way that resonates with you morally, okay? They wish that you saw how pristine you were, how pure of heart you were, how organized you are. And with the Messenger card, Sirius energy, bringing harmony to light. Now, Sirius energy comes through a lot when it comes to mechanics of stuff. Sirius is very in tune with the human collective as far as bringing body awareness, as far as the mechanical structure of our bodies, dealing with our crystalline DNA, our structure. And so there's something here where you are more structured and more organized than you're giving yourself credit. And with Messenger, bringing harmony and balance, you're a lot more balanced and on top of things than you think. Your spirit guides wish that you saw yourself, yes, from their perspective, but also from the perspective of some of the people in your life. You've touched a lot of hearts in your day, and you set a phenomenal example for those around you, people that you do and do not know. Now, as I am looking at the messenger card, I look out my window, and there is my friendly neighborhood mailman, who is always all smiles, always saying hi to everybody, knows everybody by name, and of course we have messenger, mailman. There's a synchronicity. Now, what your spirit guides want to let you know is that if you, perhaps you're a tarot reader or a channeler, or maybe not like this at all, maybe you're super connected to God, the divine, universe, source, whatever it is that you resonate with internally. Your spirit guides wish that you could see how how much the universe works through you. Now, of course, we co-create, but your spirit guides want to let you know that you are such a clear channel, and they wish that you saw this more about yourself. Now, maybe this is part of your job, so it's more normalized for you. Maybe this is just something that you believe in, and you practice, and you follow the signs and synchronicities, and it's all good, and it's all smiles, and whatever, super laid back. But your spirit guides want to come through and say, no, really, like, you are a walking synchronicity for so many others, and the things that you say don't go unnoticed, whether it takes people time to process them more. I'm getting that you, like, are almost always in collaboration with the spirit team of those that are in your life. When you show up is exactly when you're wanted or needed. What you say is exactly the seed that needed to be planted or the water that plant needed. The amount that you are on top of your own energy and the amount that you're there for others, your spirit team really wants to give you some more credit. And they wish that you saw how much harmony and peace and balance you bring to other people's lives. Really. And there's something here about you always being in search of magic. And so your spirit guides actually wish that you saw in yourself more the amount of magic that is already within your life, within you, the amount of magic that you already put out into the world. Group 1, confirmation. I'm getting that you are the type of person who always brings magic into other people's lives. Like, you're the kind of person who makes people believe in magic, and maybe with the Dumortierite here, it's in a tactical way. Like, maybe you talk to people about telepathy or connection with your spirit guides or higher selves or other deities or something like this, and maybe people kind of scratch their heads, and then you go on talking to them about quantum entanglement and neuroplasticity, and they're like, wait. There's something like this where it's like you have the magic, but it makes sense. And that's so cool. Your spirit guides wish that you were getting more excited about who you are and the way that you interact with the world, because there's something that you do, something that you say, the way that you express yourself, some of the things that you believe in that hit the nail right on the head, but at the same time, it's so expansive, it's so magical. It welcomes other people into the realm of magic. And I'm hearing a whole new world. It's like you show people that, I don't know, flying carpets can exist. You show people that nothing is impossible. And you are truly a messenger for the universe to work through, down to the small details. And this is something that your spirit team wishes that you saw more in yourself, because I'm getting that you are at least partially aware of this. Maybe this is, again, your job, like, and even if it's not, there's something here about you always having the right thing to say at the right time, or you just allowing whatever comes through to just be, because you know that the universe makes no mistakes. Your amount of faith here is really what they're calling attention to. And your intuition, your faith, it has led you to be more organized than you know. Your determination to your faith, your determination to understanding why you are the way you are, why you do what you do, how you can expand the way the universe works, the way magic works. So, with all of that being said, let's take a look at your tarot cards, and we're going to see what your spirit team wishes that you saw in yourself, group number 1. Okay. There's something about you always being in the right place at the right time. Physically, energetically, always saying the right thing at the right time. With the messenger card and the King of Swords coming out first, there is something here about they wish that you saw almost the effect of your words on others more. they're almost saying they wish that you had a behind the scenes view of the way that you were interacting with the spirit teams of others and yourself, of course. But we have the Tower, the Nine of Swords. Okay, I'm getting that you are some people's like checkmate move, or like their emergency move or something when it comes to their spirit team. Like if somebody is not breaking out of a cycle, it seems that somebody kind of uses you in order to shake up some of that energy before it solidifies in their energy field. You might have heard the term before, walking tower moment, but you're also a walking blessing. Your spirit team wishes that you saw from an external perspective how much stress you've actually been under lately, and the amount of success that you're going to have. They're saying how worth it it's going to be, but how much of the stress really was unnecessary, because it can be replaced with something new. Okay, so what your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself is how much you put up with that you really never had to in the first place. And this is out of, I'm seeing like a kind heart. It's out of living through your truth. It's out of choosing the hard option, not the easy option, where of course we can always choose the path of least resistance, but we can also choose the highest vibrational timeline. And those two are not always the same thing until you're cleansing all your karma, especially when you have other people in your life and you are a walking spirit guide for them. Your spirit team wishes that you saw, this is interesting. Your spirit team wishes that you heard all of the beautiful things people said about you behind your back, all of those beautiful thoughts, all of those messages that went unsent. There's something here about your spirit team wishing that you saw the amount of stress that it's almost like stress equals liberation here. Not for you, but for others, perhaps for you as well. But they wish that you got to see the liberation behind the stress that you saw. For example, say that you say to everybody, like, they're showing me an example, okay? Somebody is having a really hard day and you're like, remember, like, honor how you feel. You have to sit there and feel it. Also, your mind creates your reality, so honor how you feel. And when you feel ready, see how you're looking at a blessing or an opportunity, or see how you can grow from it. Something that implies shadow work and growth, right? And that's never something easy to say. It's never our job to tell somebody else what work they have to do, but your spirit team seems to be working through you in this way, almost inadvertently, or like behind the scenes, in a sense where you might say something that kind of triggers this higher self conversation, or this conversation between spirit teams that somebody else may have been like stuck on. So your spirit team wishes that you saw like the liberation that came from almost the turmoil that you create in other people's lives. And it's not that you are turmoil, it's that if you say to somebody your mind creates your reality, and that person doesn't want to take responsibility, you might see that person like treat you really weirdly, but you don't see them, like, you don't see that seed that you planted being sprouted later. You don't see how that person speaks highly of you for the rest of their life. You don't see how that person types and then deletes and then types and deletes all these thank you messages about how you changed their life. So your spirit team wishes that you saw in your life how much of a difference you really make for others. And it's all out of a pure heart. Your spirit team wishes that you saw actually how highly others thought of you, including your spirit team, primarily because it's almost like you see the best in people and receive the worst in people. And this isn't because that's what you deserve. It's because that's what you can handle. And your spirit team is saying that they know that this isn't justice on your end, but it is humanitarian. And there's something here about you moving along, like always just being able to pick up the pieces and move along. Whether someone decides to walk the path alongside you, or they're there for one rest stop, or they kind of carry along with you, your spirit team wishes that you saw that you're the kind of person that when somebody encounters you, whether it's for a month or a moment or an hour, a year, you almost never leave these people's minds or their hearts. Not in like an obsessive way, but in a way where you leave an impact, you leave an imprint, like you show people that they can be their own blessing when life sometimes tries to show them otherwise. Because like you help people see things from a higher perspective. So your spirit team, for you, because I really want to focus this more on you and your spirit team, and they're saying that you have a really good communication or a really good structure or system in place with communicating with your spirit team. So that's primarily why they're bringing this out this way, because that's what they want you to see. It's not just you and them, it's actually the outreach that you have. They wish that you saw all of the turmoil that you've cleared, all of the hope that you've instilled upon others. They're showing me the nine of wands with the justice, and I'm hearing somebody say, if only group one knew that they taught me how to love again, or they taught me how to trust again. They taught me how to bring my guard down. They taught me that sometimes people are truthful. Sometimes people can see, sometimes people can make you feel seen. There's something like this. And that has, with the Five of Swords here, perhaps like a dizzying effect. But they're showing me like ascension symptoms as well. Sometimes when you get dizzy or when you get headaches or when you feel really tired, it's because you go into your internal world and there's a newness that's born. And you realize how something that appeared to be stuck truly wasn't with the Eight of Swords. And that leads you to a new beginning and puts you on your path. So your spirit team wishes what you saw about yourself is how, oh my gosh, it's like the ripple effect, like how you've helped other people grow and find their path. They're almost saying that they wish you had a behind the scenes view of it, and some of you might, but there's like this true, really receiving that they want you to tap into. You truly bring harmony to people's lives, even if you've only met them for an hour, like making them feel heard, making them feel seen, telling them that they're going to be okay, telling them that you can still be loved, you can still open your heart to love, you don't have to be defensive. Your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself. This is going to be more focused on you, okay? This is what they're saying to me. We have Page of Coins, we have the King of Coins, the Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Six of Swords. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how far you're going to go in the future. They're saying you may have like dreams and visions about this. You may have, I'm hearing a little birdie may have told you, okay, that can be a spirit guide, that can be the dream realm, it can be your tarot cards, it can be your intuition, whatever. Okay, but your spirit team wishes that you saw how far you're going to make it someday. In whatever area. This can be with pentacles, this can be something material. This can be maybe you write a book. Okay, maybe you're like, I always wanted to write a book, but I never have the time, or something like this is coming up. And they want to say, if only you could see that maybe it's like a 600-page book and it ends up being a New York Times #1 bestseller. They're saying if only you could see how far you're gonna go. Because they're saying group number one, what goes around comes around. And that's not why you do what you do. That's not why you are who you are. You just show up and you try. And I'm hearing a phrase that's often used in karma yoga, which is work for work's sake. Because it comes from a loving heart, it comes from willingness, it comes from being in a meditative state while you are acting, having love and gratitude for everything in front of you and within you all the time, to a place where everything that you act is an internal meditation. So everything kind of gets balanced out to that vibration of love, and it just turns into work for work's sake. And there's something here about not overindulging in pleasures. There's something here about not overexpressing or not imposing your thoughts or ideas onto others. There's something about not being greedy in the material realm, not like being very, very receptive to the messages that you hear, even when it requires you to walk away from something that maybe you didn't want to walk away from. There's this deep, deep surrender and this like co-creative structure that you really genuinely have with the universe, with your spirit team. And there's something about the individuals on your spirit team also feel seen as well. So instead of like tapping into your spirit guides and just being like, hello, like collective group of my spirit guides, what is your consensus today? What do I need to know? They're showing me something that like I do at night. Like this is kind of nerdy, so don't judge me, but I'll lay down at night and I say goodnight to everything and everyone that I've literally ever met, including my spirit team. And I'll say like, Good night to my dog. Good night to my lizard. Good night to every single plant in my room. I say good night to my room. I say good night to my house. I say good night to all of my neighbors, everyone in my family, all of my friends, one by one. And I say good night to every single person on my spirit team, every collective, every individual, every archangel, every passed on loved one. Like, I go ham and a half. Sometimes I'm saying good night to people for like 30 minutes, but it just makes me happy. And so there's something here where it's like, you make people feel so seen. You even make your spirit guides feel so seen, group number 1. And that is just so cool. That is so cool. I don't know why they showed me that, like, to share with you, like, specifically, but there's something here about, I'm hearing, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And yeah, I don't know. There's something here about, like, at night, or like when you are in your like theta waves, when you're meditating, when you are like half awake and half asleep. And maybe for some of you, this goes back into your connection with the universe, that work for work's sake, that being meditative through your action, being almost active through your meditation, almost cleansing out that energy between the masculine and feminine, like neutralizing it in a sense. And that's not to say that that's beyond duality. So that's not to say that you can't be in one energy or be in another energy, or identify with one or another or both or neither or whatever. It's just saying that masculine is these three, feminine is these three, and the one that associates with neither, it's the heart. It's love. It's unconditional love. It's the heart chakra. And so what your spirit guides wish that you saw more about yourself, group 1, is the fact that they're showing me the heart chakra bouncing off the Dumortierite and going back. It's like, how can you reframe this over unconditional love? How can you let go of whatever the heck you were thinking, whatever the heck your individual truth was? How can you let go of whatever the heck you kind of wanted the answer to be, or whatever you wanted to hear, or whatever structure you thought you wanted to build? How can you release that, reframe it in love, and move forward? They're showing me somebody who really, really wakes up every single day fresh, who wakes up every single day like, this is the first day of the rest of my life. Life is short. I am a divine being in a human body. Your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself your skill and expression, your skill and your intuition, and there's something about your clarity. Okay, they're drawing me to psychology. They're also drawing me to psychometry, which is interesting. Maybe some of you are mediums. You help people with their loved ones. Maybe there's something here about how accurate you are with this. Perhaps if you are like a tarot reader or a psychic or an intuitive or empath or something, how on point you are. They wish that you saw how your ability to, here's another one, how your ability to speak your truth in all situations through a framework of love has affected those around you and has made a ripple effect on the earth. And this is beautiful too. They're showing me that meme, that girl from like One Tree Hill where she's like crying and she's like pointing her finger and she's like, like you. And they're like holding her back, like, don't do it, girl. They're showing me like that, but they're showing me also like my guru, like saying, this is the way that my emotions feel. This is the way that my intuition is making me feel. This is how I can frame this through love. But I felt it was important to express my truth in a way that it can be released out of my vessel and understood by those around me. Two different perspectives of the same energy. In a sense that you're taking accountability for your own emotions, but not in a place where you are over intellectualizing them, and not in a place where you are letting them rule you either. In a place where you sit down and you honor them and you work through them and then you release them and you communicate. This is coming out quite a bit, so I have to say it. Your spirit guides really want you to see the beautiful foundation that you've built for yourself, where it's really, really going, because it's a lot further than you might be thinking. Especially if you're thinking about walking away from something in your life, they are asking you to pause, hold out just for a little bit longer. They also want to mention how good of a communicator you are, how good that book is going to be, how your unique expression matters so much in what you're doing, and the effect that you already have had on like the world or your community or your friend group or your family. It's huge. And it's just the vibration of your energetic presence where you are. And they're saying that you speaking, that's the cherry on top. You acting, that's the cherry on top. You doing, you loving, all of that, that's the cherry on top. Just you existing in your energy where you are has created a huge ripple effect, and it's beautiful. And your spirit team wishes that you saw how much less you needed to do than you already are. And that's a big one. especially with the Dumortierite and the Syrian energy here. As I'm recording this, we're actually in the Syrian gateway right now, so you might be an ascension coach. You might be experiencing an ascension right now. You might be getting back into your exercise routine. You could be getting back into your yoga, your meditation, realigning that physical framework. They're showing me like a cycle where you go like perhaps mind, body, spirit, where you kind of shift the focus just a little bit. There's something here where you are a lot more on point than you think you are with your daily structure, your organization, your desires, your plans, or something like this, okay? And your spirit team wishes that you saw this more. When it comes to yourself, they wish that you saw how determined and how strong you really truly are, because there's something here. We have the King of Coins and the Queen of Coins. I'm hearing that somebody's watching you or trying to reach out or wanting to reach out. It's like your spirit team is showing me, like your spirit team and someone else's spirit team, like almost like coercing behind the scenes, okay? And they're saying that they wish that they saw about yourself all of the things that somebody else's spirit team saw about you, which is a really interesting perspective that I don't think is ever channeled through my readings before. So something like that's coming up too. There's something here where even like the angels, spirits, guides, ancestors that are around you, that are around others, want to interact with you. You might so very well be a medium group 1, because they're showing me, or like a starseed, or this doesn't have to be the case either, but they're showing me like for example, every Halloween I get very, very busy because I am a medium, and so I'll have energies come towards me and be like, hey, can you tell so-and-so like blah blah blah, and I'll be like, oh, okay, and I'll text my friend and they'll be like, how you weren't supposed to know about that person, about that ancestor. And that's exactly the words that they would have used. And it's just they're showing me something like this. They're also showing me Tyler, I can't remember what his last name is, but he's like the Hollywood medium or something. It's like people's spirit teams want to interact with you. It's like you are a walking spirit guide for those around you, and your spirit team wishes that you saw the extent to which you yourself was a spirit guide for others. So that's super cool. And the amount of grounded tactical energy that is going on here, I bet this is the Four of Wands. Check this out. Yes! Okay, look at this, the Four of Wands here. Beautiful. You make people really, really happy, and you make people's spirit guides, like, I'm hearing someone say, thank gosh, we were trying to get through to them for so long. And it's not in like a stuck or judgy kind of way, but in a way where it's like, I don't know, like if your parents are like, oh, that looks so cute on you, and you're like, I'm gonna go change, and then your friend is like, oh wow, that looks so cute on you, and you're like, oh my god, really? Like, hey, it's kind of giving like that. Like if someone's intuition or spirit team, they're like, hey, you should do that. Someone's like, I don't know, but I'm comfy, like, no, I have my own ideas. There's something here about you enacting this, like you letting yourself let it be what it is, and then also you being that voice that people do listen to. You being that trustworthy voice. It's like you being that grounded spirit guide that's able to relate from a grounded sense. And this can be like, maybe you work at a job where you are like the best at customer relations. Maybe you are a medium and you notice that you have a lot of like spiritual energies coming to you before the clients even do, because you have so much energy to download. You might notice, for example, that there's a lot of truth that you say, like accidentally on purpose from your higher self, or like just accidentally because you're speaking something that is already true. There's something here as well. Your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself how on point and organized you really truly are. There's this energy here of you doing the right thing at the right time, being in the right place at the right time all the time, saying the right thing, helping people out, giving them what they need. And it's like you receive in the physical realm like that moment of curiosity, or that scratching their head moment, or sometimes perhaps that projection defensive moment. And they wish that you saw like about the impact that you had on people's lives like after that more. There's also something where they wish that you saw about yourself. There's something here coming up about your physical beauty, your physical health, and something about the way that you express yourself. There's something here that they wish that you saw more about yourself, like maybe how healthy you are or how on point you are about certain something. Okay, some of you, this is giving like maybe Ayurveda or Chinese medicine, like how precise you are with this, how good you've gotten at perhaps healing or something like this, how healthy you really are, how beautiful your body really is. For some of you, how old you're gonna be. Some of you might be like 60 years old and you're like, oh, I better book that trip because I don't know how much longer I have left. And they're like, honey, you might live till be like 130, like you don't even know. So that something like that's coming up too. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how unique you really are and that you're one in a million. And there's also something coming up here about some of the gifts and abilities that you perhaps know are locked in your DNA or in your soul that you haven't really either acted on or shown others, or you haven't awakened to them yet. They wish that you really saw what you were truly capable of. I'm hearing, and I believe Aang can save the world, so call me a dork, which I am, but there's something here about, like, you really being, like, that, like, I'm getting just Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes. It's like, where have you been all this time? Why couldn't you do what you can do? You can show other people this. There's something about ancient or lost knowledge, which is why I was coming into like Chinese medicine or Ayurveda or something like this too. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how beautifully and seamlessly you weave together like modern ideology with like ancient truths. And again, how much of what you're doing you don't actually really have to be doing. There's so much responsibility that you take for you, for your spirit guides, for others, for their spirit guides, for just the collective, for humanity when you're gone. And they want you to know that they wish that you saw how much you deserve one of you in your life as well. This may be something that's been coming up recently, or this might just be something that you're like, no, because I'm that person. Like, I'm the helper person. Like, I'm the medium person. I'm the healer person, right? And group one, your spirit team wishes that you saw in yourself how much you genuinely make a difference and how much you deserve someone like you in your life too. And they really want you to just vibe with that for a moment. And they're drawing me again to what they were showing me before about your spirit team and someone else's spirit team, like kind of coercing a little bit. And they're saying that if someone like this isn't already in your life, they'll be coming. Okay, and this can be romantic, platonic, a friend, a family member, a stranger, perhaps an animal, but I'm getting most likely this is going to be like a human person, very grounded, okay? If you don't already, group one, you're gonna have a you in your life. Not just you, right? Like, we take ourselves out on dates and love ourselves and do our affirmations and all that stuff, but there is somebody out there who is able to provide for you what you're able to provide for others, and that's very unique and very hard to find too. And they got to get everyone in the right place at the right time and fulfill all the soul contracts of people that they decided to help along the way to get to you too. And for others of you where this person is already in your life and you know who I'm talking about, this is going to be someone where you're very much aware of this, and it might bring up some questions of, do you really deserve this? And they're saying, yes, of course you do. Look at all that you do for others, okay? There is some mental energy that wants to get let out. And your spirit team wants you to see how important it is that you take up space through your expression of self, through your expression of your experience. That's a big one. And through your expression of your individuality, all that you've learned and where you learned it from. That's a big one. So your spirit team wishes that you saw how put together you really truly are, like in the mind, body, and spiritual realm, okay? Because there's this energy, there's kind of this theme coming up where you might be questioning, like, oh, could you be healthier? Could you be in better shape? Could your mental health be a little cleaner? Could your spiritual energy be more on point? Could something, like, there's just this Dumortierite energy of how can I focus more? How can I be more determined? How can I show up more? How can I make everything more perfect, more precise? And your spirit team wishes that you saw how perfect you already really are, and how much of a difference you really truly make on others' lives as well. And I'm getting larger than what you think. And you might have some sort of idea or statistic as to what this is, okay? But there are a lot more people that are grateful for you out there than you even know are like watching you, or there might be people that you've helped that you don't even know you've helped. For example, maybe when you were a kid, you said something to an adult, and that adult took that lesson and passed it on generations, and that generation became like an ancestor or a spirit guide, and they were able to tell this truth. Or there's just something here about you don't even know how big of an impact that you've made on generations already. And there is, again, something here about your spirit team wishing that you saw all of the blessings that you've been working really hard for already. Wishing that you saw the effect that you have on others after you plant the seed, like what that seed grows into, and wishing that you could see that part of your life where you receive and are comfortable and open to receiving exactly what you put out there in the world, but for yourself. They're saying everybody doesn't have a group number one, but if anyone deserved to have one, it would be group number one. So there's another little message, though, of self-love in there too, which is beautiful. You really truly are a messenger. You really truly are a divine being. And notice here that there is a pure light on this person's throat chakra. And we have Messenger, the Dumortierite, the Ace of Swords, all of these cards of truth coming out. It's so important that you express yourself, because whether or not it's emotional or mental or spiritual or tangible or accidental or intentional, what you have to say matters a lot more than you think. I'm getting to tell you that the universe works through you, through your throat chakra, a lot more than you might think. So make sure that you are saying everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's a lot more beautiful, precise, and on point than you would ever even guess. And that's super cool. So that is what your spirit guides wish that you saw about yourself. I'm going to pull a couple more cards just to wrap up your reading. Okay. They push the roses. Okay, there's something here about literally getting your flowers. Okay. That wants to come up here for you. Dark night of the soul. Wise like wood and by the moon. Okay. Oh, okay. Your spirit guides wish that you saw about yourself more, or gave yourself more credit for the amount that you've been through and grown through in order to become the person that you are today. Not in a way that's like feeling sorry for yourself, but in a way that definitely validates that you don't just be this energy, whether it's a ton of struggles in this lifetime, whether it's trauma, okay, whether it's difficulty, whether it's this lifetime or other lifetimes, like you have experienced a lot in order to get to you to where you are. And even in your regular cycles, having cleansed out this energy with the wisdom applied to it, your cycles are still a bit rougher than the average person. And they want to validate that for you, and they want you to really see about yourself that you deserve your flowers. Okay, you deserve not only just to grow into this wise, evolved, beautiful messenger on behalf of spirit energy, but you also deserve to have like a perpetual cycle of getting back what you put out there. And so that's something that they want you to meditate on, because that might be, they're saying reminiscent of kind of where you're at right now. And they're saying there's like a will they, won't they energy about not what will happen, but do you feel like you're worthy of what's about to happen? And they're saying, heck yes. Yes. But notice that there's this energy of letting yourself honor all that you've been through and express everything. They're saying, again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And know how beautiful you really, truly are, internally, externally, mentally, emotionally. And you're doing a lot better than you are giving yourself credit. You're a lot more organized. You're a lot more on point. You do a lot more than you have to. And some of you might feel like you need to be doing more. Okay. They're showing me like, this is giving like elder vibes, but this is giving like you reincarnated like as an elder, or like maybe you needed to grow up really quickly, or maybe you like ascended and came back down to help the Earth Collective or something like this. This is giving like doing so much and getting so tired, like so young, and having all the wisdom, but then like the rest of your life kind of looking around like, well, now what? Do I just keep putting myself in situations where I have to heal and grow and become more wise, and then keep spreading it to other people and then not receiving the flowers. No. Because they're saying now is the time where you've closed out that cycle. And in order to walk through this cleansed version of the cycle, you have to, one more piece, you have to tap into your solar plexus. And they wish that you saw how worthy you are of everything that is meant for you, and how big and beautiful that really is. And you deserve one of you too. So you deserve to dedicate yourself to yourself first and foremost, but you also deserve to receive that from your surroundings too. So that's all I have for you, group 1. This was a longer reading than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on you and your situation. This is what your spirit guides wish that you saw about yourself. I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Go check out the other part of your reading on Psychic Siren Tarot's channel, linked below in the description box. Namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste. Welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what your spirit guides wish you saw about yourself. You selected the second group with Weight of the World, Boundaries, Let It Go, It's Not Yours to Carry, and the Tiger's Eye. And the first thing that I'm getting here is your spirit team wishes that you knew how protected that you are, and also how powerful you are. They wish that you saw how strong you really, really are, and they also wish that you saw how much you hold within you, within your aura, within your energy field that never belonged to you. It belonged to your environment. For some of you, your spirit team is working really diligently to help you get out of your current environment, or to create more space or healthier boundaries in particular environments. So that's coming out for you as well. Group number 2, your spirit team sees how kind and loving you are. They see that you hold space for everything and everyone all of the time. And you might not necessarily see about yourself how open you are for others, and how that doesn't always mirror back into the way that you treat yourself. Now, this is an energy of somebody who is so very loving and will make sure that everybody all the time gets seen, probably because they don't feel like they're getting seen. There is this energy of you having that confidence within you, knowing who you are, knowing what you're worth, and because of this, being able to see this in others, even when they can't see it in themselves. And there's this energy of you see this in yourself, but you are so there for others all the time. It's like you could be, like Tiger's Eye, it's giving me like parental energy, okay? You don't have to be a parent, although you can, but it's kind of giving you taking care of everyone else's everything all the time and leaving yourself for last, or showing up for what you deem to be your own responsibilities, but not for your like life, for your enjoyment, for your pleasure, for your happiness, for your fulfillment. And there's this energy here about your spirit team wishes that you saw how much more life had to offer you, how much more you're capable of. And I know what you're thinking, right? This isn't what you want to hear. But this is because your guides are gently showing you that you're doing way too much. And they wish that you saw about yourself how constructive you would be if you shifted some of this energy into more joyous things for you. They want to take a look at the things that you really, really enjoy, the things that you really love, or maybe there are some things that you used to love, you used to dive into that you simply don't anymore. Maybe you can't, or you won't, or you just don't have time, or there's something like this coming up. And maybe some of you, I'm hearing the term like an artist without a medium, or like an artisan without a craft. Like there's something here where it's like you have this energy within you, but you're still kind of searching for your place in the world. And your spirit team wants to show you how protected you really are, but how like you might be overprotecting yourself a little bit. And we're going to get into positive traits. This is of course a positive trait because it shows how your internal beauty shines externally. But with the Boundaries card and Weight of the World, this is kind of showing how you might feel that when you, like, as soon as you put yourself out there, as soon as you open up, you might feel that people, like, everything that you put out, people just take. Okay, so there's this energy here of it's not doing the internal work, it's doing the external work. And this might sound a bit counterintuitive to you. What your spirit guides wish that you could see about yourself is how much beauty you could put or add into your life. Maybe some of you really want like a fresh friend group. And when you try to put yourself out there, you get just things that are not healthy. Maybe you really want to move, but for some reason it's like you just cannot seem to find the maybe the time to apply for a visa, or maybe you can't find the right town, or maybe you are having a hard time with your finances. There's something here that's coming up. Let me clear through this energy a little bit and feel. Okay, they're showing me clearly how she's floating in the water, and all that's left is like her hair or her face. I don't know why I said hair. Okay. You are breathing. It's like your whole body is underwater, and you just have, like, you're getting the amount of air that you need to survive. And they're saying this is like there's some sort of habitual survival mode that they have gotten you out of. And when you try to put yourself out there, there's like this juxtaposition almost about how safe you are, or how much you can enjoy yourself without putting yourself in harm's way or slipping back into old patterns. It's like I'm hearing like there's some energies that are in your life right now, like their higher selves want to come through and say, we are not them. Okay, whoever that resonates for you, we are not them. Okay, what your spirit guides wish that you saw about yourself is that you are so beautiful, and you're so tender, and you're so gentle and loving and humanitarian, and they wish that you saw more the beauty of this instead of the lack of safety this might lead to. They wish that you saw more about yourself, how most of what you're carrying doesn't belong to you. They see that you've been moving forward, but as you move forward, they're showing me somebody who takes one step up and then they reach their hand back and help somebody else get up a step, but that person didn't need the help. You needed, like, you could have used the help to get to where you are, but you didn't have any. And because of that, you reached back and you gave somebody else a hand up, and they like stepped on you in order to get a level up ahead of you, but they never even needed the help in the first place. There's this energy here about you like opening up to energies like being soft, being open, being vulnerable, and not wanting to change that. And your spirit team is saying that that is correct, that's on point. They don't want you to change this. What they wish that you saw within yourself is how, they're saying how much of a badass you are for staying kind, for staying soft, for staying open, for staying vulnerable, for continuing to try and try and try again, because that's not something that everyone can do. They're showing me maybe they're saying that a lot of people who have experienced what you've experienced would have closed themselves off and not put themselves out there. But for some reason, you dedicated yourself to your healing. You dedicated yourself to creating a sustainable and healthy and abundant internal world. And so when you like release this and it permeates externally, there's this solidarity to you. Like, you are so solid that is what people see about you. And so there's this energy here that your guides wish that you saw how much you're carrying that doesn't belong to you. And they also wish that you saw how solid you really truly are. There's this energy of you experiencing a lot in your life. Maybe they're saying like trauma or difficulty or abuse or something. I'm not going to dive into that, but there's something here where your guides are saying you are really, really internally solid. And so that's what makes your external world, that's what makes your relationship to the external world a bit perhaps complicated. And they're saying that don't worry, your people are out there, but it's going to need to be people who can see and understand you. And your guides wish that you saw more about yourself, that you deserve to be around people who are solid internally like you are, but can also understand and see the fact that it took you work to get there. You were not given that as a foundation. You had to find that. And a lot of people who don't have that as a foundation don't grow into what you are. A lot of times they will become traumatized, or they'll experience problems like in their mind, their body, their spirit. They'll enter the same loop over and over again. And so your guides really want you to be more gentle with yourself. This is really, really giving me like angelic energy. They're really highlighting the roses, the energy of the roses are really strong for me here. They're showing me this labradorite as well as this pink nephrite jadeite that I have here. I'll put these out here with your tiger's eye because this is a power stone. And with weight of the world, it's like you carry so much, but for some reason, to everyone else, you just seem to float. They wish that you saw how much you're floating when you might even feel like you're drowning. You might be feeling really, really drawn towards like water or wind or kind of flowier elements because you notice that a lot of what got you to where you are needed to be very grounded. It needed to be very solid, very almost unshakable, very crystallized. And so you might be feeling drawn right now to more gentle things. So one thing that your spirit team really wishes that you saw about yourself was your strength for yourself and others. This is giving somebody who you're hiking up a mountain with your pack on your back. But somebody else, like maybe they got kind of tired, so you're carrying your pack and their pack too up an entire mountain. And somebody else notices that you're the person that's carrying other people's packs, so they give you theirs too. And then you end up kind of carrying like 10, 15, 20 different people's like baggage, their packs all the way up this mountain. And these people are kind of tired, they just don't want to carry their packs. Little do they know that you were injured before you even started the climb. And so there's this energy here about they wish that you saw, one, how strong you really are, how they're saying how strong of an energy worker or alchemist you really are for some of you. This is tying into, they're saying radical healing or something like this. I'm hearing your mind creates your reality too. So it's like, you know, when, I don't know if any of you have ever been like an athlete or really into a hobby or something that's very agile, where maybe you get, say you twist your ankle, like doing something that you really love. But you have to get back out there and you really want to, and it's what you love. And so you're able to tap into that love and that determination and push through anyway. And it's like you don't even feel the pain of that twisted ankle because you're doing what you love, because you're moving through love. And it's almost like it never even happened. Now you're still sustaining an injury, but it's like it's like this is where they're drawing the energy work into it. Like your spirit guides wish that you saw how strong you really are, like energetically, emotionally, mentally, vibrationally, and yes, physically as well. But there's this energy of let yourself float for a while. When you release all of these energies, like if you were to take off 20 people's packs after climbing up a mountain and dive into a pool with absolutely no weight on you, you would feel entirely weightless. You would feel like a floating noodle. And this is kind of what they wish that you saw about you, that you can float now, but you might be so used to pushing or clenching or holding or trying or striving or needing to be strong that it almost feels either ungrounded or uncomfortable for you to let it go, to just say, no, I'm okay, to rest perhaps for some of you. And I'm hearing like wounded warrior. Okay, there's this energy here about, they're showing me like Lilith and Chiron. So there's this energy of two, and they're also showing me my petrified wood. Your spirit team wishes that they wish that you saw how much you really see, how much you're really capable of. There's kind of an energy here where maybe you are, you're tapping into stronger versions of yourself, like a stronger version of yourself that maybe you haven't tapped into in a long time. But as this occurs, you notice that as you get stronger and the weights come off, you almost like fly. And they're showing me somebody like bungee jumping for the first time or free falling, like skydiving before they hit their parachute. And that can be a scary sensation. So they're kind of saying that they wish that you saw that this is the feeling that you're experiencing right now. That you're feeling a free fall, you're feeling floating, you're feeling the water taking the pressure off your limbs. But you might not know what to think about it. You might not know how to feel. You might be used to carrying tons of baggage or other people's baggage. You might be used to helping other people out. And one of my favorite flowers when I was little was a snapdragon. And there is a little like coupon that my friend gave me here for something that says snapdragon on it, and it's just been staring at me in the face this entire reading. So this lets me know that you have dragons around you. Maybe in another life you were a dragon, or you have like that energy, that strength of a dragon within you. Also maybe snapdragons, the flowers, can be significant for you. I'm going to move on from that, but I felt called to bring that up. So there's something here about you breaking cycles. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how many like ancestral patterns you've really broken. You might look at perhaps karma or ancestral karma as like a dense energy to kind of push through, or to like sift out, or to like release the density. Like we say heal, release, ascend, right? But they're saying if you could look at like a list like of all the minutia, like all of the tiny little habits, the tiny little patterns, the tiny little phrases, all these things that you've really broken out of, they're saying you would see yourself as a powerhouse. You would see yourself more differently. But right now you are being challenged to take a more gentle, soft approach with yourself. And they're saying with others, but they say that gently as well, because it's not yours to carry, as it says on this card. Okay, so group number 2. What do your guides wish that you saw about yourself, group number 2? How many minds you're still on? There's something about your inner child that's coming to play. They wish that you saw how happy and healthy your inner child was. Or they wish that you saw like that. Okay, there's something specific here. It's like they wish that you saw like yourself as a child from an external perspective. They wish that you like heard that, I'm hearing like that belly laugh or that big giggle you used to let out. They wish that you saw that cute little chunky smile when you were missing a couple teeth. They wish that you saw like those eyes when they got really happy and excited and twinkled. It's like they wish that you saw your inner child, not from a place of like from a place of almost like a stranger, like when you're bubbly, when you're happy. We have the 7 of Swords in the Tower. Ooh, okay, with the Weight of the World card. They wish that you saw how much you've really been through. Interesting. Your spirit guides wish you saw how much you've really been through. It's like you know, but do you really know? There's something here about it being normalized. And they're saying like that's kind of messed up. Like that shouldn't be normal. That's not everyone's normal. That shouldn't be your normal. Like they wish that you saw how strong you really were. You've been through a lot. Okay. You have been through a lot, and you are doing really well. And there's kind of this energy here about most people who go through like a third of what you've been through end up being like not even half as good as you're doing. And it's not to compare or contrast or say that anyone or anything is better, but it's like you might just be like, there's something here, it's like you don't match the statistics. And you might know this and you might be like, yeah, like I know, whatever. And there's this energy where there's this lighthearted energy. It's like they wish that you saw like how strong you really are, how protected you really are, how clear you really are. They're showing me like clear water, literally. So maybe like Clearwater, Florida is significant. Manatees, I don't know why. Perhaps like diving could be significant for you. We have Queen of Wands and the 2 of Cups. Your spirit guides wish that, okay, this is really interesting. They wish that you saw yourself when you were going through difficult times. They wish that you saw yourself pick yourself back up all of those times. There's something about you that they're saying, not objectively, but there's something about you where it can really only truly be appreciated by observing it from an external perspective. And we know that the whole universe is like the same thing experiencing itself, but there's something here about like if you saw it in a movie, or you saw your friend or your family member or your loved one, if you saw somebody pick themselves up like that, say it's okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be, everything happens for a reason, put on a happy face, fake it till you make it, show up, get through this, do the hard work. There's something here, group number 2, where your spirit guides wish that you saw about yourself. Like they're saying like again that like that they're saying that like chunky little smile, like that belly laugh, that those cute little fingernails. They're also saying like watching you like cry yourself to sleep at night, and then saying like, tomorrow we're gonna wake up and we're gonna be happy and we're just gonna try again. It's giving like Little Orphan Annie kind of, which is kind of interesting. This is so funny. They're saying, don't worry, your daddy Warbucks is out there, but I'm sure that a lot of you are not in that situation. Okay. Your spirit guides wish that you saw like how much of a pearl you really are. You could have like they're giving me very like ethereal and watery kind of references. I'm hearing like Flowers by Miley Cyrus. I'm hearing the song Pearl by Katy Perry. They're showing me like the colors here, and everything just feels very like it feels very like ethereal. It feels very watery, but very like crystallized watery. You could be like a water sign or have a lot of water in your chart. It's giving mermaids, and it's giving Mintaka. It's giving like Atlantis in like a fairy tale kind of way. It's just giving like, it's giving like that fairy tale land that you make up when you're a little kid. It's like they wish that you saw, they just keep saying they wish that you saw yourself pick yourself up and dust yourself off and try again, because they're saying that is one of the most heroic and beautiful things that they've ever seen. And this is coming from your spirit team, which is really interesting. What else do they wish that you saw about yourself, group number 2? I just keep seeing like go like there's kind of this energy about you that is it's like they're showing me somebody like falling behind in like an action movie, and they're like, no, go, like save yourself, but you always end up making it out. It's like you're the one that tells somebody else, like you'll sacrifice yourself for somebody else because you know that you have a better chance of making it than anybody else who would sacrifice themselves. It's giving like the end of Armageddon. I don't want to go there, okay? But it's giving like they wish that you saw like your heart, not from a place of obligation, or that's just who I am, or that's just how things are. They wish that you saw it from an external perspective. They wish that you saw how much faith has really, really gone into making you who you are, how much love, how much faith in the future, how much trust in God. They're specifically saying trust in God. Trust in the universe, trust in source. Okay, group number 2. Can we like, no, it's like, I keep asking, I'm like, can we make this happier? And they're like, they want you to see yourself through the lens of all the love that you've ever given in your life, to yourself and to others. And they're saying that if you saw that, you would understand why people and your spirit teams think so highly of you. There's like this energy about you where it's like this it's giving like sweet and innocent, but also like a warrior, like the leader of a battalion, but it's also giving like a sweet innocent like child that no one would ever want to hurt. You might be the kind of person where people just kind of like, I don't know, like they like your vibe a lot. They want to like follow you around. They might like, they might really want to like take from you, or like people meet you and they don't really get to know you, but they just want to be with you, or they get obsessed with you, or like something like this, or people think you're easy to take advantage of, or they like talk a bunch of smack because they know that you're not one to mess with. There's kind of this like all or nothing kind of energy, like, and it's not about you, it's about the way that you are received almost. And this is where they're saying boundaries and let it go. Like, you don't need to carry everyone else's responses to you. You don't need to play it safe anymore. You don't need to step on eggshells anymore. They wish that you saw 4 of Swords. They wish that you saw how much healing yourself has healed your family line. They wish that you saw how much, look at this, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, this is like moving through love. Like this is literally moving through love, taking a beat to heal and ascend, moving through bigger love, taking a beat to heal and ascend, moving through even bigger love. It's like you just can't be stopped. It's like you just grow in love even more and more and more every day. And this is what they wish they saw about. This is what they wish you saw about yourself. And they're saying the Jadeite is significant. So look into Nephrite Jadeite, okay? And the Strength card, look at that. some of you might be progressing into more of like an earth energy or more of a fire energy after being in like water and air for so long. And there's something here about like the fire couldn't burn you if it tried. They're drawing me back to dragons again. They're also drawing me to earth again. It's like you might be nervous about what ends up solidifying because of the response you get or the amount of responsibility that you can take. They're showing me somebody like putting their hands up and then backing up. Like you have your hands full and then you just drop it all and back up. And there's something like this that they want you to embrace in your daily life, okay? And it's like divine surrender, but divine surrender knowing that you're protected. They just keep saying if you saw yourself from an external perspective, you would have a lot more respect for yourself. You would have a lot more love for yourself. There's something that you do that is like timeless. The word timeless is coming up. There's something about you that's just timeless. Maybe that's intentional, maybe it's not. We have the King of Swords and the Four of Wands. This, I believe, is the King of Wands here and the Page of Swords. Yeah. Interesting. Your spirit guides wish that you saw how many people watch you and like dive into your energy. Okay, you might be like, your spirit guides wish that you saw about yourself how many people like watch you in order to figure out how they can heal and grow. And there's this energy of like mystery about you too. What they wish they saw that you saw about yourself is how stable you really are, or how stable you really can be. And it's all through love too. They also want you to see like what's coming up next for you as well, because there's this energy of like they're bringing me back again to like a fairy tale land, like when you were a little kid. Maybe this is like your favorite movie. Maybe this is like, maybe you meditated a lot when you were a kid or prayed a lot or just had like a really good imagination or something. They're saying a lot of what got you through a lot of things, a lot of this like fairy tale magical little energy, like this is very much like real. They're saying it's very much indicative of what is in your future, but they wish that you saw like your imagination the way that you did when you were a kid. And they wish that you saw like how much beauty and love you've really, really like grounded through your ancestral line. And to those around you too. You might notice that there are some people around you that like watch you like a lot consistently, like and don't really talk to you. And this is because they don't know what to say. There's something about you where it comes off as like, it's like, again, they're showing me like hot or cold. It's like, how do I approach something so sweet, so pure, so innocent without tainting it? And then there's also this energy of how do I approach something so bold, so fierce, so strong without coming off as soft to it? And so it kind of draws this this hesitation towards others where they either will back up or they want to take. And so your spirit guides want to say like that this has nothing to do with you and everything to do with others around you and what you're used to dealing with too. They want you to be okay floating for a little bit, and they want you to see about yourself that it's okay for you to speak up and it's okay for you to be happy. It's okay for you to like just be calm, and it's okay for you to experience ease. This might not be something that you're used to. They've been working really hard to try to get you to experience that sensation in your life of like the weightlessness that comes when you are like in water. When the water kind of relieves the pressure off of you and it makes everything easier, it takes less strength to like carry yourself. And there's this energy I'm feeling, like this pushback of like, no, that's cheating, no, that's cheating, no, that's cheating. And your spirit guides want you to know that they see how strong you are. They wish that you did too. They also wish that you saw how much gentler you deserve to be treated. There's an energy here of people wanting to like come in and try to prove themselves to you. Okay, they also wish that you saw all that you're capable of, because there's this energy of like, it's like it's like this energy of like, you know what you're capable of, but it's almost like when faced with adversity, you know what you're capable of. When pressed, you know what you're capable of. But they wish that you could see that when everything is easy, when everything is simple, when everything is just floating for you, then see what you're capable of and you'll be surprised. There's this energy of you growing into this, and they wish that you saw They wish that you saw clearly something from the past as well. And it's not that you don't, there's something that maybe it's like from your childhood or another life, or it's just something that maybe it's a repressed memory or something that you've seen but you don't understand fully why it comes up. Okay, they wish that you saw this. The reason that they wish you saw this is because it's going to help you increase your material abundance and help you step into that leadership position that you've always felt was meant for you. It'll help you feel more comfortable and confident, trusting others to be around you. Okay, there's that Four of Wands and the King of Wands coming out again for you with the Seven of Coins. They wish that you saw how solid of a foundation you really, really have. And I'm hearing like no one can hurt you anymore. Like it's not going to get taken away from you anymore. And we also have the Eight of Coins, abundance. The day that you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit. Page of Swords. You have planted so many seeds out there. You have released yourself from illusion. You have stood up, spoken up, taken the higher road so many times. And there's something about you just feeling like every time you help somebody else up, they either step on you or they play some sort of like weird ego game with you because they see how strong you are. And they wish that you could see that this is more than anything an ego reflection or projection of what people see that you're capable of, because they know that you've needed to use it before. It's like this energy of if group 2 can get through that, then they'll be fine going through this too. And this is, again, they're showing me you picking up other people's baggages, you picking up other people's trauma, you picking up other people's difficulty. Just because you are strong enough to deal with it, just because you know what to do, doesn't mean it's your responsibility. And they're showing me again Ace of Cups, overflowing so much that things float. Wheel of Fortune, things turning in your favor, things going really well for you. And we have the Empress, counterpart to the Emperor that just came out too. We do have the Temperance card here too. Maybe I'm hearing that phrase where it's like always a bridesmaid, never a bride, but they're showing it to me like always the helper, never the helped. So there's something like this that's coming up as well with the Five of Wands. They wish that you saw the impact you've had on other people's lives. They wish that you saw the way that people felt after interacting with you. They wish that you saw the new beginning that was coming for you. And they wish that you saw how spiritually talented and gifted you are too. There's something here where you might be afraid to show like your true self or your full capabilities, especially if you have like spiritual gifts or something. You might be afraid to show up like in that squishy, tiny baby, happy energy. And I'm not saying that you need to go around acting like a baby, but I'm saying that like it's like you might feel like if you present yourself as soft, you'll get treated as soft, and you don't trust people to treat you as soft. So they wish that you saw how your mind created your reality in this sense, but not because you haven't experienced this being imposed upon you, but because there is some sort of deep release that you deserve to experience, or maybe you feel as though you can't speak about certain things because that's not helpful, like, or because there's no space for you, like you're always the helper, you don't get helped, like there's something like this. Okay, the King of Cups. They wish that you saw like that you would make a phenomenal leader, they wish that you saw your future and all of your potential, not just when it comes to being pressed or being put in a corner, but when it comes to like, say you had like, they're just saying, pretend you had like a fair chance, pretend you had a head start in life. All of that energy, all of that strength with all of those lessons that you've learned, all of that energy, look where you would be. That's truly your potential. And they want to show you like how protected you are, how guided you are, primarily because of all of the work that you've done on behalf of others. So there's this energy here. They wish that you saw how good of a leader you are and can be. We have King and Queen of Wands and Emperor and Empress. They wish that you saw, the way that other people compared themselves to you in like a positive sense. I'm not big on comparison, but it's coming up here. There's this energy here where your spirit guides wish that you saw, they wish that you saw like the magic that occurred when you cry. They wish that you saw the alchemy, like the energetic alchemy that occurred when you brushed yourself off and pick yourself back up. They wish that you saw like when you were crying and you needed a hand up, when instead you gave someone else a hand and someone else some help, even though you didn't have any. And it's like they wish that you saw like a montage of every single time you helped up yourself and 2 to 10 other people, when it would have been nice for somebody to reach back and offer their hand up to you. And they're saying there's something here where they're acknowledging that even the help that you have had in the past, it's been very, very like minimal or very, very like judgy as far as like, oh, you should be able to do this yourself. Like, what do you mean? And so they just want to honor that, and they wish that you could see about yourself like how, now this is interesting, like how fair you didn't have it. And it's like with all these spiritual cards coming out and all these love cards coming out, it's kind of like, you know, that everything in the universe is balanced, everything happens for a reason, everything is fair karmically in some way, shape, or form. And it's like holding on to love without spiritually bypassing what's occurred in your life. It's like they wish that you could see like a montage of your growth, or like if you had taken a picture every single day of your life and you saw the amount of smiles and the amount of tears and saw where you are today. There's something about you that makes a true leader, and you're very humble and very shy, and you might be very like, who, me? And it's like your ability to be calm instead of like turning to anger, your ability to look at something that's uncomfortable and do something about it and help somebody else while you're doing it. Your spirit team really wants you to see your heart. They really want you to see your soul. They really want you to see clearly how much pride you should have in yourself, how much confidence you should have in yourself, and how much truth you have to speak, and how cathartic it will be for you and clarifying it will be for others for you to speak this truth or these truths or whatever this is. They wish that you saw, there's like, if you had like this imagination or this like fairy tale, fantasy, happily ever after vision of your future, they wish that you saw that vision again, or held on to it, or believed in it again, because they wish that you saw how possible this was and how soon this could be coming, depending on whenever you feel that your rest is over. But you have to let yourself rest first. They wish that you saw about yourself how beautiful you setting your boundaries was. Like they're saying again, like if you were to watch yourself as a character in a movie, some of those moments are just like you're saying kick-ass. Like they're the kind of moments in your life where you would have the entire theater standing up, like giving you a round of applause, like in the middle of a movie, just screaming, crying, like just clapping, like all this happiness. And your spirit team has had many applause moments for you too, and they wish that you saw that you were worthy of applause. They wish that you saw that so much of what you dealt with was never yours to begin with. They're showing me like somebody getting drafted into the military, so that can be significant for you, or they're kind of just like using that as an analogy maybe for this energy where it's like you don't really have a choice. You just kind of have to go fight for fighting's sake, even though it has nothing to do with you personally. Like fighting someone else's fight, and then it just being for the cause, and you're like, oh, okay. So there's something here where your guides wish that you saw these moments in your life externally. They wish that you saw the sun'll come out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow. Those moments. Your little orphan Annie, like singing to the other orphans moments. Your the sun'll come out tomorrow moments. They wish that you saw your those moments where you set boundaries, those moments where you were like, F no, those moments where you just chose yourself and you said yes and you got to where you are. Those moments where you picked yourself up and brushed yourself off. Those moments where you got proverbially or literally drafted to fight somebody else's fight, only to come home unscathed. But like, that's not something that you can unsee, is what they're saying. It's like they almost wish that just for a moment you could see yourself from an external perspective and see how strong and beautiful and loving and gentle, kind-hearted you really, really are, in a way that, like, it's like they almost wish that you could see yourself externally, but from a perspective of having unseen everything that you've been through, like to see it objectively. They wish that you saw that in yourself, because there's something about your story that deserves to be told. There's something about you as a human person, as a soul, that is absolutely phenomenal. And there's like this inherent strength about you. It's like this tiger's eye. It's like a protection stone. It's like you are a protector, you are a nurturer, you are strong, but you're also very soft and gentle and beautiful. And the closer that you look, the more beauty you can see. And every striation, it occurs because of some sort of like friction or discoloration or mishap or something, and yet there's an entire like genus, I guess, of crystals that have similar striations, but from this perspective we can only see this part of this one, and it's the only one that's out here on the desk. You know, it's like they wish that you could see what it looked like for you to do so many things on your own, and they wish that you could see how realistic that happy tail ending still is for you. Yeah, they really want you to continue to release any of these burdens that have been ongoing for a while. Walk away, continue to set boundaries and walk away from things just because they feel like not something you feel like dealing with. Not because you deserve otherwise, not because you're not capable, not because you're waiting around for the situation to stab you in the back, simply because you don't feel like it. They're saying that's valid enough. It's time for you to float. And they wish that you saw how much you deserved to float by now already. And I'm hearing I'm hearing another Katy Perry song. At first I was hearing Pearl, and now I'm hearing that song, what is it called, like Not Like the Movies, where it's like, if it's not like the movies, that's how it should be, yeah. So there's kind of this energy too coming out where you deserve to be celebrated. And they're giving Ace of Coins. It's giving like uprooting or like coming to an abrupt stop, which isn't always Ace of Coins, right? So there's kind of this energy here where it's like you deserve to stop and celebrate for a little bit. So if life is kind of pushing you to stop or to rest or to go play or to just go like this with your life, okay? They're saying trust the process. And no matter what, you are always where you're meant to be. And yes, that got you through a lot of tough times, but that can also bring you to some of your favorite times in your life, okay? So that is what your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself, group number 2. I'm going to pull from my Follow Your Heart Oracle deck just to grab some closing messages. What do the spirit guides of group number 2 wish that they saw about themselves? I'm hearing it's just the beginning. Ask for help. They wish that you saw that you didn't have to do everything alone, and how much of other people's karma you deal with on a daily basis. There's some things where you don't ask for help, and it's not even your problem that you're dealing with. Okay, so they would love for you to gently look at that objectively, and just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Okay, they would love for you to see about yourself. Okay, if you tap into the Akashic records, or if you have like soul ties with other people and you remember them from past lives, or something like this, they wish that you saw like how much you've helped these energies that you've been like soul bonded to. They wish that you could see like the amount of a difference that you having on somebody like has really had on their life. You have eyes like a hawk. It's your ancestors and revisiting priorities. Okay, your spirit team wishes that you saw yourself the way that literally everybody else sees you. But I'm seeing source, and they're showing me like and they're showing like resource. It's like just because you might be able to find unlimited resources, or you have enough faith that the universe can provide you with unlimited resources, doesn't mean that you are an unlimited resource for everything and everyone else all the time. So just because you can doesn't mean you should, doesn't mean you will. And they want you to see more objectively ways you can honor yourself more, particularly in ways that I'm hearing fulfill things you never got around to in other lifetimes. And likely this will be things that are easy, that are fun, that are creative, that are pleasurable. Maybe you've always wanted to travel, maybe you've always wanted to sing, maybe you've always wanted to dance, or you've always wanted to paint. And these things might seem less productive. They might seem less like you're fighting a good fight. And they're saying exactly. They kind of want you to shake it off a little bit. They wish that you saw how much you deserve, like, to reap the benefits of being the one that broke all of these ancestral ties, to be the one that reaps the benefits of revisiting all these priorities on like a collective level too. They're saying return to sender, okay? And they want you to know that you're not alone. We have Tiger's Eye and ask for help with weight of the world. It's like, don't forget that you're a co-creator of the universe. They want you to see about yourself that everything's not your responsibility. Even if you were raised otherwise, even if you are a divine being that might feel otherwise, everything's not your responsibility. And if you only took responsibility for yourself, your life could be everything that you ever wanted it to be when you were a little kid, and so much more. So that's all I have for you, group number 2. I was not expecting that to get this deep, but I hope that this helped for you. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this reading, and go check out the other part of your reading on Psychic Siren Tarot's channel. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm, and I'll see you around next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at what your spirit team wishes you saw in yourself. So I love this topic, and the other 2 readings have been phenomenal. You selected the 3rd group with this beautiful fire opal and the deep cellular healing card. So group number 3 with the fire opal. This is one of the few times in nature, specifically in crystals, where the water and fire elements come together to create a substance. This is not actually a lava stone. This is found in like the bottom of rivers and waterfalls. And it's an opal, which means that this helps you with emotional cleansing, emotional clearing, emotional balance. It helps you with your intuitive gifts, but it's the element of fire too. So this helps really strongly with deep cellular healing, very literally. It also can help you to tap into your pitta energy. In Ayurveda, all of the 5 elements, including space or spirit as an element, all of the 5 elements are grouped together into groups of 3. There's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and this is Pitta, which is fire and water. So this can help things flow, but it's also hot. It is kind of like a lava-y substance in a way where you're using your intuition to guide you through healing. And you selected the deep cellular healing card with Arcturus energy. Now, what your spirit guides wish you saw about yourself are how far that you've come, but also the fact that there is a huge door that is opening up for you that is right in front of your face, and they're saying you might not be recognizing it. I'm hearing you might be a bit burnt out. You might be waiting for like something to come along and just kind of give you a helping hand or to help you out. You might be looking for that next step. And what your spirit guide is saying that you're not seeing right now is that you are already at your destination. You are already where you want to be. And so your spirit team wants you to see about yourself how far you really traversed. They're saying that when you get to the top of a summit on a mountain, you might have a difficult time seeing the path ahead. Or when you're almost at the summit, all you can kind of see is, like, you can't really see the road ahead. All you can see is like the top of the mountain and the little bit of road you have left, but you can't necessarily see what is on the downside of the mountain on the other side. And so you might be focusing on this. And what they want you to do right now is sit down, relax, look back, and see how far you've come, how far you've grown. And with deep cellular healing, they want you to look at perhaps your DNA strands, if that resonates with you, or they want you to look at how far you've come emotionally and physically. Your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself how much development and maturity you have grown into. There's also this energy of having so much faith to you and trusting in the process. With the Arcturian energy coming out here, there's something that you may have built or created, or you have the inspiration to build or create, that you're being called to take another look at and see how it was your passion and also your flow, your grounded and your spiritual activity that led you towards this, which is really gorgeous to see. There's something here where they're showing me how her fingers here are almost connected. They're not touching each other, but they are pretty close. So there's something here where you are waiting for that point of connectivity, maybe with you and someone else, maybe with you and your goals, with you and something else. You are waiting for a particular moment in time, an aha moment, a realization, perhaps a goal or milestone, and your spirit team wishes that you saw how close you really were, and wishes that you gave yourself more credit for the amount of work that it took you to get to where you are today. You seem to be the kind of person that is very go with the flow, very divine. You might be very, very focused on your devotion, your prayer, your bhakti, your connection with God, with source, with the universe, whatever this is. And your spirit team wishes that you saw how far you've really healed. Now, there's something here about a physical ailment that you've healed as well that wants to come out. There is something here where you dared to believe something that seemed like it wouldn't be possible, but you made the impossible possible because you believed that with enough faith, anything was possible. Because anything, you can have whatever you want in the universe. Everything is possible as long as your intentions are pure and it is aligned with your path and your highest self. Your spirit team has seen how much change you've gone through, and they wish that you saw how much you've really grown too. There's almost this energy here of you having grown so much and then still seeing yourself in the same light that you used to a very long time ago before these transformations. And they're saying that the last version of you to heal is for you to see how far you've really come. You might notice that you don't see yourself as highly as your spirit team does, or that you don't see yourself as highly as the people in your life do. And you might feel like you see yourself really highly, and they're saying that that's the problem. Not that it's a problem to be humble, but they do want you to be aware of the fact that the amount that you have grown, you deserve definitely to give yourself more credit. There's something about you that they wish that you saw when it comes to how unique you are, and also they're showing me like upscale, or like something that's fancy, or something that's very posh, or something that's very unique, something that is very, very it's unique, it's like novelty. There's something about you that is very, very hard to come by, and they wish that you saw yourself in this light as well. Maybe instead of seeing yourself as like novelty and unique and individualized, maybe you see yourself as quirky or weird or different. And while these things can be synonymous, your spirit team wishes that you saw yourself in the highest vibrational and most optimistic version of all of the words that you would use to describe yourself. For example, if you're very watery, you might see yourself as very sensitive. And maybe you just have a depth. Maybe your experience is very deep. So changing that vocabulary. Your spirit team wishes that you saw, perhaps also if you're very fiery, maybe you see yourself as very, very reckless. And instead, they would describe you as very free. And so there's this energy here of you having grown. And your spirit team wants you to see the ways that you've grown out of the way you were taught to speak about yourself, or the way that you always have spoken about yourself. They wish that you saw how ethereal you were. They wish that you saw your aura. For some of you, they wish that you saw something about your natural beauty is coming out as well. For some of you, they wish that you saw how beautiful you look maybe when you sleep, or when you're not wearing makeup, when you let your hair go natural, or when you lose something that you use perhaps to make you feel better about yourself physically. Something that is natural about you that you might want to hide or cover up, or is your self-conscious point. They wish that you saw how beautiful it was. And so that's beautiful to see as well. Now we do have this energy with fire and water. This is fire, the solar plexus, and water, the sacral chakra. So there's this energy here between the sacral and solar plexus chakras that your spirit team wishes that you were a little bit more fiery. When it comes to your passion, your creativity, also your confidence and your sense of self. Now this is, of course, a crystal. So this is the earth, obviously, element. So this does have to pertain with your lower three chakras, okay? So your spirit team wishes that you saw yourself the way that they do, which is stable, safe, secure, comfortable, creative, passionate, sensual, emotionally fulfilled, confident, beautiful, fiery, amazing. I love these beautiful things. I'm going to get into your tarot cards now, group number 3. But it seems that your spirit team, particularly with the Arcturus energy here, there's kind of this go-getter energy about you that they wish that you saw a little bit more. Now, Arcturus is a very intense energy. They are very connected with soul star and pineal chakras for our collective. And they're very, they are very mechanical, but they're also very ethereal. They're kind of, well, they resonate with experiencing the 7th through 9th dimensions, kind of similarly to how we experience the 3rd through 5th dimensions. So there's this energy with Arcturus here that you are able to find connectivity between your relationships, transformation within yourself and your connections with everything, and you're able to find that freedom here. So when it comes to your lower 3 chakras and perhaps the 7th, 8th, and 9th houses of your astrological chart, your spirit team wishes that you had a more optimistic view of yourself to see how far you've really grown when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to perhaps sex, death, inheritance, shared finances, when it comes to the occult, perhaps your intuitive gifts, when it comes to your freedom, your philosophy, your psychology, your mental health, traveling perhaps. Some of you have an opportunity to do something alone very soon. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how capable you are of doing this. Some of you might want to start a business. Some of you might want to go travel, go on a solo trip. Others of you might want to create something. These came out in this order, so I'll pull them here. Group number 3. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how much space you have to take up. There's something here about you have the option to find the light in every situation, and you do. And they also see that you follow your intuition a lot. Your spirit team wishes that you saw that you have a lot more options than you give yourself credit for. There's something here where there's an energy of a smidge of internal restriction when it comes to your freedom. Perhaps you are really talented at languages, but you're shy when it comes to speaking. Perhaps some of you are really talented at psychology and you're able to read people, but you're really shy about expressing this. Maybe some of you love to solo travel and you're a bit shy, or you just want to invite other people along, or we would rather wait for somebody else to come with you. There's this energy here about you having more options than you think you do because you're a lot more capable than you're giving yourself credit. There's this energy of wanting to have like an insurance policy, of wanting to make sure other people are taken care of wanting to stay humble. And none of these are bad traits, but they're not the highest vibrational outcome. It's knowing that you are safe and comfortable, knowing that you can have emotional fulfillment and experience pleasure, knowing that it's okay to be confident and have a healthy sense of self. It's all of these 3 masculine things. So with the Emperor here, okay, your spirit team wishes that you saw in yourself your initiative. They wish that you saw how much initiative you really can take with your life and how much you already have too. There's this element of giving yourself more credit for how far you've come, and also giving yourself more credit as to what's possible for you in the future. You might be stressing out when it comes to your romantic life for some of you. You might also be stressing out when it comes to people showing up in your life and being permanent, or you being permanent in other people's lives. We do have 7, 8, 9 coming out: relationship, transformation, and freedom. Okay, so any of these can be obstacles for you, or they can be stressors. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how capable you are of a healthy relationship. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how capable you are of getting to the bottom of things and transmuting beautiful energies, perhaps tapping into your sensuality, perhaps your confidence, like Scorpio and sacral kind of energy, that intersection there with Mars, Pluto kind of energy, depending on your vibe. They also wish that in yourself, you saw more capacity for freedom within relationships. Okay, there's some sort of mindset here that seems to be what they wish that you have broken out of by now. They wish that you saw yourself almost without your self-restrictive belief systems. And they're saying that it's not bad, okay, but they think that you can give yourself some more slack mentally. They would love for you to see how positive your internal narrative can become while still being entirely accurate. And that's what they would like to say to you today. Okay, so you have the 9 of coins. How is group number 3? What does their spirit team wish that they saw within themselves? your ability to fulfill your own desires, okay, and not need to wait around for anybody else. They wish that you saw how strong of a manifester you really are. Okay, this is why they're going back to your mental narrative, okay? You can speak something into existence, but it's that belief system that really solidifies your experience. And of course, it creates that quantum shift internally too. It's not just projecting what your mind is saying. It's not just expressing what you want to happen. It is also allowing yourself to vibrate alongside that, but not in a way where you need to shift yourself for an outcome, in a way where the desired outcome and your growth are intertwined in your highest vibrational timeline. Your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself how beautiful you are when you are in your highest vibration, how beautiful your higher self is. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how beautiful you look when you are in faith, when you are feeling good. They're saying on your best day possible, or like on your best day when you're feeling the best about yourself and you're not paying any attention, you're just kind of walking down the street feeling great, feeling confident. I'm hearing that song Sunday Best by Surfaces, feeling good like I should. When you're just feeling good like you should, and you're walking around on a Sunday, the wind blowing through your hair, little to no care. They wish you saw how beautiful you were then, and they wish that you described yourself as you are in these moments. Now with the Knight of Swords clarifying the Emperor, they wish that you spoke up a little bit more. They wish that you saw how powerful your voice is. I'm hearing divine frequency. Okay, so for some of you, you might be a speaker, you might be a singer, you could be a musician, you could do something that involves your voice. There's something here about the power of your voice. They're showing me like daycare as well. They're showing me like using your voice. Some of you could be like politicians or lawyers or something like this as well. You could be public speakers, celebrities, influencers. There's an energy for you where if you spoke up more, you would be able to have more leverage in life, and not in a way that is negatively construed, because here they want to work with you on your mindset, on the connotations that you have with certain words, such as confidence, such as leadership, such as sensuality, such as comfortability. Okay, so your spirit team wishes that you saw in yourself how good of a decision maker you are, primarily when you're in a bind. They wish that you saw in yourself how many obstacles you have seen coming a mile away and avoided. They almost wish that they could show you for a moment all of those times that you followed your intuition without it necessarily making tactical sense. When you were told, hey, don't go to that party, or turn left instead of right. They almost wish that you saw what should have, would have, could have happened if you didn't follow your intuition. Because I think that it would help you have a lot clearer, healthier, and more confident mindset in yourself. Your spirit guides are coming through to say that if they could show you all of the things that you avoided, or if they could show you all of the things that would not have happened in a positive, like all the positive things that wouldn't have happened, had you not just shifted something to the left a little bit, or walked a couple extra feet before coming home, or parked in that parking spot that was a little bit further, or walked around the block one more time, even though you maybe didn't know why. Okay, if you could only see almost these almost timelines of yours, you would be so very proud of yourself. You would be so very confident in yourself. You would feel like the world is your oyster, like you can do absolutely anything. Now, this is really interesting that this is coming up. Group number 3, your spirit team wishes that you saw within yourself how you show others that their dreams can come true. I'm hearing that song, darling, you make my dreams come true. Okay. Yeah, so there's something here where it's like your late night ideas, or those things that you've been so passionate about that you are up all night working on that book or that manuscript, or you're up all night stretching or doing abs, or you're up all night like trying to put together your business or your project, whatever it is. Like there's this energy of like doing something by candlelight, like laying on your bed like at 2 a.m, having inspiration. Maybe some of you, this is like your prime divination time. Maybe for some of you, this is when you write or do art or something like this. Your spirit team wishes that you saw in yourself how beautiful you are when you are like tapped into the divine and creating through it. And with that being said, there's something here about you having so many like seeds of inspiration. We have the Emperor, not the Empress, and they're showing me like having seeds of inspiration and speaking them into existence. They wish that you saw how if you were to water every single seed of inspiration that you have within you, like you have other times in the past, you would notice that some of the stress in your life dissolves. They wish that you saw that you can really bring anything into fruition, and they wish that you saw how magnetic you really are. There's this energy they're showing me again, like you walking down the street and people just stopping and staring at you, whether or not they know you, just because your vibration is so alluring, it's so magnetic, it's so beautiful. But this is an energy that's still like the internal narrative has not yet shifted to the way that your spirit team sees you, the way that other people see you, and the way that you are growing into as well. There's this energy where it would almost be like, so they're saying like it would be a bit of a shame if you've grown so much and your narrative is still where you used to be. If you were to grow all the way into your fullest potential and then have your narrative be where it like could be right now in a very like leveled out sense, that would be really sad, because they want you to have an internal narrative that fits this future version of your fullest potential before you reach it. It's like if you could skyrocket your internal narrative, that would make your spirit team so happy, because there's this energy of you need to prove it to yourself before you can believe it internally. But you're the opposite with the universe. You're the opposite with your intuition. And your spirit team wishes that you saw how strong your intuition was, how capable you are, and also they wish that you saw your worth. There's something here about you like making a change in the world. Your voice, I just keep getting your voice matters. Like maybe you I'm hearing like an activist. You could be an activist, you could be a speaker, you could like lead protests, you could again, they're showing me like an influencer or a celebrity. There's something about your voice where even if you feel like you're speaking up too much, maybe if you speak so much that you lose your voice, if you turned up that internal narrative a few notches, if you turned it all the way up to 10, then I'm hearing like your spirit team wishes you could see that you could speak less and have more impact, because it's not quantity, it's quality. And the quality that you're already speaking at such a large quality, or the quality that you're speaking already at such a large quantity is already tipping the scales. And that's beautiful. And they wish that you gave yourself enough credit for this. But there is still this question of stress, of anxiety, of dizziness, of perhaps like trying to figure out yes or no, this or that, like making a decision. And your spirit team wishes you saw in yourself how good of a decision maker you really are. There's something here about with the Ace of Cups and the purple and yellow on this card. It's kind of giving like you are in heart-mind coherence most of the time, but sometimes you have emotions that you might try to rationalize. And your spirit team wishes that you saw that this is okay. And not only is this okay, but this is natural, this is healthy, and this is a part of you finding that balance internally. This is a step that you need to walk through in order to enhance that internal narrative. Your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself. They're just saying like if you saw your battle scars as though they had never healed, you would be really proud of yourself. And they're saying that they know that's weird and like a little bit gory, but this is part of your story. They wish that you saw about yourself the fact that it's okay for you to tell your story. Some of you, your story belongs to you, so you have the right to tell it, okay? But they also wish that you saw your maturity as more of a luxury instead of a responsibility or a requirement. Group 3, your spirit team wishes you saw within yourself the true power that you yield when you are not thinking about it at all. When you are walking through faith and not by sight. They're saying that is when your true bounty appears. That's when your true abundance appears, and that you are such a powerful manifester. You would be surprised to find out how strong of a manifester you really are, and I'm hearing to tell you that you are learning more and more every day. If you saw your full potential, which I think you might, but you might be a little bit shy or meek about it, you might feel like it brings up some old stress or some old triggers or perhaps some old things that have been said to you. We have the 5 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords. This might bring up some old things for you. But they would love if you would identify this. Push through it. Not in a forceful way, but in a way that lets you shine anyway. In a way that lets you heal this and blossom this. Because you deserve your wish fulfillment. And there's something here about telling yourself otherwise or hearing otherwise that may have dampened your sense of self a little bit. And so your spirit team really wants you to see within yourself if those words had never been said to you, if something had never happened, if and they're saying shoulda, woulda, coulda, okay, like obviously something occurred and it was meant to happen and it made you who you are today, which is beautiful, but that doesn't change who you're meant to grow into. It might change your amount of maturity. It might change your amount of strength, but it doesn't change who you are at your core. And with the Magician and the Sun, this is saying that they wish that you saw, it's like they wish you saw your ascension journey from afar. They wish that you watched yourself do the shadow work. They wish that you saw how beautiful you were when you were pulling these swords out of you. And they wish that you saw in yourself, like they're showing me like a compilation of like all your successes in life. Like every time, maybe like every time you got a medal or every time you got a trophy or every time you succeeded at something you weren't sure you were going to succeed at, every time you had faith after you put the hard work in. And they really, really wish that you saw the power of your voice, the power of your faith. Those are the 2 things that are coming up the most. And deep cellular healing, again with Arcturus. There's a lot of physical and emotional healing that you've done. And this is why your faith and your voice are so important for you. You might resonate with being like the odd one out. You could be part of a culture that has a history of being ostracized. There can be something about you. Maybe you were just like, whether this is on an individual or as a friend group or a family or a culture or a country or whatever scale this is at, however this resonates with you, there's some sort of energy here where they wish that you saw, they wish that you saw the power and the bounty behind, the power and the bounty that caused this to occur in the first place. They're showing me like a lion, and they're showing me like a lion getting shaved, and it's saying like, oh well, you can't be a lion if you don't have your mane. But that's not true. And they're showing me something here like they wish that you saw within yourself 10-10 how much you've moved on from, and they're saying that you know this, but they wish that you saw the way that you would feel if you let all of this off of your chest. They wish that you got to see the impact that you have already or are going to have on the world. They wish that you saw the way that, this is interesting. Okay, there might be a passed on loved one, or there can be like somebody that you know that was like I'm hearing a bystander to some like difficult times in your life, or something like somebody who watched but didn't do anything or couldn't because they had passed on or something like this. There are energies like this that have watched you go through difficulties. They almost wish that you could have seen or felt what these energies were feeling while you were going through difficult things. For some of you, this is like your ancestors seeing you get treated the way that they got treated. For some of you, this is like friends who didn't stand up to you getting bullied at school. However this resonates for you. They wish that you saw within yourself the subconscious reason why these things had happened. And it's not what you think. It's not because of this is interesting. They're saying it's not because somebody wanted to hurt somebody else. It's because somebody was threatened by somebody's confidence, by their power, by their ability to create, by their ability to find happiness, by their ability to find security, by their ability to survive. There are these like power traits, like beautiful, beautiful power traits that are within you that you are reawakening to again. And your spirit team wishes that you see this. They're saying you will, and you already might, but the sooner the better, the stronger the better. Never underestimate yourself. And this is why they want you to work on that internal narrative a little bit. I'm hearing that song, I Am Woman. I can't remember the name of the lady who says it, but she's like, I am strong, I'm invincible, I am a woman. So, and it doesn't just have to be, gender is not at all specific here, okay? It doesn't have to be because you're a man, because you're a woman, because of your culture, because of your heritage, because of your language, because of your interests. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Just there's some sort of energy here of, on the other side of that energy, turning the stone over is your superpower. And this is what your spirit team wants you to see about yourself. And you know this, you feel this deep within. And there's this energy like a phoenix rising from the ashes that's just kind of like boiling up, like lava, like fire and water. It's like boiling up from within you. That is like causing this deep cellular healing within you. And your spirit team wants to say, let it out. It's okay for you to roar. That's why your voice is so powerful. It's okay for you to roar and to have faith in the future. There's a reason you're so intuitive, or you come from an ancestral line that's very intuitive. There's a reason that you are where you are. There's a reason that you incarnated into the family that you did. There's a reason that you are in the right place at the right time all the time, whether it's during the struggles or whether it's during the awesome like accolades. And they wish that you saw really the options that you have before you. And for some of you, again, romance is coming up as well. They wish that you saw all of the romantic options that you really do have. There's an energy here where your spirit team tries to, maybe you have a lot of offers that come in that kind of meet you where you treat yourself mentally instead of what you're really worth. And they almost wish that you saw the amount of people that like held themselves back or didn't end up making that offer towards you, or because they didn't feel good enough, or because maybe they had some sort of pattern that they were trying to break through, and your spirit team wanted to keep you guys away just for like for health's sake, or just out of protection or something like this. But they're saying that if your spirit team hadn't intervened, and you could see all of the energies that wanted to come towards you, in friendship, in love, in leadership, in collaboration, they're saying that your jaw would drop on the floor. Your spirit team wants you to know that they put up quite a bit of a fight around you to see who can even access your energy. And so, those that have made it through, in order to help you, hurt you, heal you, they're all there intentionally. And the reason for this is because it's helping you walk away from healing. Notice that we have healing twice. And they're showing me like, when a card in tarot is reversed, it can mean one of two things. Either it's the opposite of the meaning of that card, or the meaning of that card is doubled. It's enhanced exponentially. So for example, sun upside down. It can mean that you're not getting your wish fulfillment, you don't feel confident. In the context, it can also mean that you are shining twice as bright as the sun. It can mean that you get your wish fulfillment and then some. And they're showing me that. It's something that you look at. You look at something as though it is half of what it means, or the opposite of what it means, when in reality, it's twice of the best energy that you could possibly even fathom. And that's what your spirit team wishes that you saw within yourself, about the options that you really have in front of you, about your ability to carry on when you need to. There's also something here about your skin. Okay, maybe people are like looking at your skin like, wow, that's awesome, poppin'. Okay, we did have Libra coming out. Libra rules the skin. It also rules the butt. Okay, so hey, I don't know, some of you might be surprised to find out who checks out your butt. Okay, I don't know why that's coming through, but it is, so I'm gonna say it. We have 7, 8, 9, as well as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's like this closing out of a chapter, but we do have the 10 here. Okay, we do have 10, 10. Your ability to transmute energy. Your spirit guides wish that you saw within yourself how just it keeps coming back to power, how powerful you really are. Some of you might feel very, very, very empowered sometimes, or most of the time, but you might also have a weird thing about the word power itself. You might feel like power is bad, or like that means that it's overly egoic. That means that it's overly something. And they'd like you to take a look at that as well. And I felt kind of this, I felt this weird energy, like in my heart chakra, like empathically while I was saying that. Okay, so take a look at that as well. There's something here about, the star, wish fulfillment, and the Knight of Cups. Okay, some of your spirit teams wish that you saw about yourself how good of a partner you are. And I just heard someone say, I know, okay? How good of like a romantic partner you are, or how good of a parent or a kid or a sibling or an aunt or an uncle, but primarily like how good of a lover you are. And this doesn't have to be like lover. It can be like platonic, obviously, but your ability to heal others, your ability to heal yourself and others, your ability to take a leadership role, to stand up, to speak. I'm hearing get up, stand up. And what do we say here about being an activist too? Don't give up the fight. Man, group 3, you're a powerhouse. Holy moly. Powerhouse energy. Your spirit team wishes that you saw how big of a powerhouse you really are. And the reason, they wish that you saw all of the options that you did have, and all of the people whose narratives about you internally were so much more beautiful about you than yours was about yourself. But also the fact that you gotta get up, you gotta stand up for what you believe in, you gotta move on, you gotta show up, you gotta speak your truth, you got a leadership position to take, you have decisions to make, you got a life to live, you got love to fall into, you've got like dreams to achieve, you've got manifestations, you've got options, you've got all of these beautiful things. And so your spirit team has been putting up protection around you left and right. They're just like fending people off in your name and your honor, and you're out here seeing yourself as half of what you are internally. And you might feel like that's even too much. And your spirit team wishes that you saw really truly like your value, your worth in this world. They wish that you saw how big of an impact you have on others, how big of an inspiration you are, have already been, and can even be further for others. There's definitely this energy of, if you desire to take a leadership role on this planet, in this world, it's yours. It's yours for the taking. And some of you might not feel comfortable with that. And that's exactly what qualifies you. That's what your spirit team wishes that you saw. That because you are exactly who you are, not because you are anything like those that you see, but because you are either the underdog, or because you are from a group of people who have been brushed aside or treated poorly, or because you are a little bit weird, or because you don't feel power hungry or egoic or weird like that, because you are so humble, because you are so kind, because you are a go-getter, because you are an activist, because you know how to manifest and how to heal. That is what qualifies you to be a leader. That's what your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself, group 3. You lead by example. You lead by love. You lead by being yourself and having little to no idea that people are following your example. You follow your intuition before it makes sense, and your spirit team wishes that you saw all of the mishaps that you avoided and all of those blessings that you walked right into because you decided to listen to your intuition instead of turning left like you were going to. If you had really, really seen all of these things, if you had all of the timelines laid out in front of you and you made your choice accordingly, and some of you, I see you, are intuitive, you probably have. But if you had really, really seen every single timeline out in front of you, and you watched yourself intuitively pick the right one time and time and time again, you would be gassing yourself up, group 3. And your spirit team gets to see this. There is this, like, I'm hearing like the term hat trick. I'm hearing someone like, people like scream at a sports game and they're like, and they did it again. Oh, like, oh my God, like your spirit team, your spirit team is like really hyping you up, group 3. Holy moly. I keep saying holy moly too. I don't know why. Your spirit team wishes that you saw, because we have 1 and 10, which is an 11, which is humanitarian energy, which is Aquarian, which is Arcturian. Your spirit team wishes that you saw the way that you start fresh and you determine yourself. You are determined to turning a new slate, to living that new life, to starting fresh, to making it out, to changing the world, to whatever it is. Your ability to show up for that ability, it can be as small as tidying up your bedroom. It can be as big as changing the world. But that is a gift that you have. And it doesn't matter on what scale you're utilizing it. That is something that you are capable of and something that you've always been able to do. And your spirit team wants you to see that. They want you to know that. They want you to honor that and live in it. And this is the number 11, which is the number of, being a little quirky, standing out from the crowd. Being an underdog, but also being that humanitarian, being that one who does go out on a limb, being the one that does change the world, being the one that was a little weird and maybe didn't have as many friends in school or growing up, but then ends up being like the one that creates either ancestral wealth or the one that creates huge change, the one that creates systemic change in the world. And that's what your spirit guides, your spirit team want you to see in yourself. That your special superpower, your power, group 3, and don't feel uncomfortable with that word, your power is creating systemic change. And whether that's systemic in the systems that you use in the morning, like your morning routine, or your systems in I'm going to work until this time, and then I'm going to work, and then I'm going to go play, and then I'm going to rest, and then I'm going to hang out with my kids or my animals, and then I'm going to go to bed at this time. Your ability to look at systems, see what needs fixing, see how you can put love into the equation, and build a new system. That's your superpower. Your spirit guides wish that you could see this more. I'm hearing that song, oh my goodness, it was from like TikTok, and she's like, puff out your chest, take a deep breath, you're gonna be okay. Is it loud in your mind? Just take your time, you're gonna be okay. And I feel like this is you. It's like they're speaking to you, like puff out your chest, like put your chin up, like group number 3. Oh my goodness. Your voice matters. Your voice freaking matters. Your internal narrative matters, because that's what comes out of your voice. That's what comes out of your throat. That is exactly why your spirit team wishes that you are gassing yourself up all the time, 1,000% of the time, group 3, because you deserve it, first of all. And we have 13 here, both indicating swords, both indicating walking away from heartbreak. Okay, to take this literally, but notice these white flowers that are coming from in between. This indicates a blossoming, a purification. And look, we were talking about seeds earlier with the Emperor, and look at all these little pollen, like all this pollen that is on these flowers too. What you create from your voice, you expressing where you've been, how you've grown, your internal narrative, you standing in your power like that, your spirit guides wish you could see this. It is blossoming the flowers that have the pollen that will create systemic change. Because when there is a flower, you invite bees, and those bees spread that pollen everywhere. And that's why you have as many options as you want to take in life, because it's not your job to be a bee, it's your job to be a flower. And if you speak up and you stand in your power, those bees will come find you. And bees stand for ascension. They stand for awakening. They stand for working. They stand for consciousness. And so do you. Your spirit team wants you to see about yourself, yes, your power. They want you to see what you stand for and why. They want you to see why you've been through what you've been through, because it lets you stand for what you stand for. And it's not a coincidence that your superpower is creating change in systems, identifying patterns, making changes, healing yourself, healing others, manifesting what you desire. Look at all of these things. Put them together like a puzzle piece. What do you see? If you were looking at somebody else with all of those puzzle pieces in your life story, how would their story end? Now apply that to yourself. See how beautiful you are, group 3. You are a shining star everywhere that you go, all of the time. And there's a reason. There's a reason for this heartbreak. There's a reason for the confusion. There's a reason for the deception. Is it fun? No. Cool? No. Awesome? Certainly not. But is there a reason? Always. Feel good? Not at all whatsoever. But look at you. Look at you, group 3. Really. Your spirit team wants you to, I'm hearing get puff out your chest, take a deep breath, you're gonna be okay. They want you to put your chin up. They want you to see that with like Aquarian, the star card, they want you to see that you can have anything that you desire. Whether that's a piece of pizza this week, or a new world, you can have what you desire. Because you're good at what you do. Depending on what scale you are enacting it, there's a place for everybody. And you know exactly what yours is. Your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself the way that you have so seamlessly and gracefully worked through so many beautiful good and beautiful bad energies. They're showing me on this card, look, with this deep cellular healing card. Look at her wings. Notice how they're almost hugging her. Her arms look like they want to break free, but she doesn't look at all like she's struggling. She looks like she's going with the flow. One can presume from looking at this card that she has flown her way to this gateway and already walked through it since her back is facing it. You are already where you wanted to get to. You are already where you're meant to be. Maybe you were even the one that created this path, created this gateway, created this opportunity for yourself. And you're just beginning. You're a very, very strong alchemist. Very, very, very strong healer. Very beautiful ethereal energy here. And they're showing me literally arcs, and we have arc and Arcturus here. That's a bridge. You're a bridge between worlds. A bridge between communities. A bridge between culture. A bridge between any two things that seem to be separated. And we know that separateness is an illusion. And you know this. You know what to do about it. You experienced this firsthand. You walked through it. You grew through it. Your spirit team group number 3 wishes that you saw in yourself the grace behind your power. They're showing me an elephant, the graceful giant, can create a stampede, especially in numbers, but they can also paint. They can also be gentle. They can be graceful. They can be beautiful. They can heal. They can remove obstacles. They can also be an obstacle when they decide to get in the way of a path that they don't want being crossed. They're also showing me the waves coming to shore here, and these are actually going in different directions, and it's reminding me of, I don't know if there are like 1 or 2 or 3 places on Earth, but there are spots where there are different like seas that don't cross each other, and like I think their solubility perhaps is different, like their salt content is different, and so they kind of meet in the middle, and they don't blend. There's something like that they're drawing attention to, and they're showing me like Moses parting the Red Sea. So any or all of that can be significant for you. I just wanted to share because it was coming through. Your spirit team wants to show you that if you believe that you can move mountains, you can move mountains. They want to show you that if you believe you can have what you desire, you will. And that if you believe you are confident and powerful and vocal enough to make a change, the change that you wish to see in the world, you can and you will. Your spirit team sees great things for you. And they're drawing again that allusion to selecting your timelines, following your intuition, always taking the right step, avoiding mishaps, picking up a few extra blessings along your way. And they're saying that plus who you are is absolutely unstoppable. And it's your decision to make. It's more so, which decision do you want to make? You shine bright. You shine very, very brightly, group number 3. And it might not always be comfortable, but don't dim your own light for others. Remind others that they too can be a bright light. Remember that from one flame, you can light many candles. And that's exactly what your spirit team wants you to see in yourself. You are that eternal flame. Well, they're showing me like literally like eternal fires. They're drawing me to Hanukkah. They're also drawing me to there's some spots in the earth where there are like fires that can't be put out, like underground, and that kind of leads to like pitta energy, like this lava kind of fire water energy. So that can be significant for any of you too. You might live near one of these sites or have heard of one or something. Maybe have like a powerful spiritual activation around one of these sites in the past or the future. They're showing me again 1010. And I'm hearing the song The Taste of Ink by The Used. I don't know why, but that can be significant for some of you. Okay. Now, they're telling me not to pull these yet. There's a few more messages. Your spirit team wants you to see within yourself the options that you really truly have before you. Don't think too small. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't be afraid to think too big. And also don't be afraid to think too small. They're saying don't limit yourself in any way, shape, or form. If there's something that is super, super tiny that bothers you, you have the change to fix it. If there's something, you have the power to change it. If there's something that is super, super big that bothers you, you have the power to change it. Look at all of your options. No obstacles at all. They were showing me that elephant again. Ganesha, remover of obstacles, is coming through in your reading. I'm also hearing Shiva is here. Om Namah Shivaya. You have an opportunity to liberate yourself internally. And in liberating yourself internally, you will be given an opportunity to liberate many externally in their lives. And as I was saying that, they were showing me again Moses parting the Red Sea. So there's an opportunity for you to like liberate yourself and many others. And this can be in any way. This can be in like social justice. This can be on a small scale, on a big scale. This can be liberation. This can be ascension. This can be spiritual awakening. This can be anything. Big, small, physical, spiritual, social, emotional, healing, liberation. And this is going to start by you standing in your power in your mind. Putting your chin up. Puffing out your chest. Being confident. I'm going to get into my Follow Your Heart Oracle deck, and I'm going to see what your spirit team wishes. You could see about yourself. Okay, that was easy. Yeah. No way! You got the Archer's card. Look, Archers and Arcturus. Yes! Okay, I love this. Removal of obstacles, the Ganesha card. Ah! Oh my god, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just scream. Oh my gosh. Okay. They said what they said, okay? Ganesha, Shiva, Arcturus are around you right now. Very, very, very strongly. Very strongly. Any obstacle in your path has been and will be removed. You need to know and continue having faith in this, because that's what has gotten you as far as it has. That's what I'm hearing got your ancestors as far as it did. For some of you, if that resonates, that is truth. Faith is truth. And some of you might resonate with being like an Arcturian starseed, or you might have a strong connection with Arcturus. You might know somebody that has a strong connection with Arcturus. You might want to check out my reading to Arcturus, okay, or whatever. Just 7, 8, 9. Why is 6 afraid of 7? I don't know why I said that. Anyway, we have ascending to Arcturus. We have intuitive protection. We have crystal light. We have intuitive water. Living in truth and deepening faith. Wow. Okay. Your spirit team wants to show you how unstoppable you are. I'm hearing the song Impossible by Chantel. Interesting. Anything is possible. Primarily when you're the one behind it, group number 3. You plus your faith, unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. We got intuitive coming out literally twice. We got Arcturus coming out twice. We got the only Ganesha card in here, removal of obstacles. Your light is shedding people towards protection. You speaking up, you speaking your truth will protect people to come. Generations to come. Your intuition is shedding light on the emotions of those who might be the underdog, who might not feel seen. Your faith is crystallizing a new world, a new earth, a new beginning for those around you. This is what your spirit team wants you to see in yourself. As long as you believe in yourself and your power, you remember who you are, you know who you came from, you know where you're going, you keep yourself in mind, your story, the stories of those who came before you, the stories of those who were going to come after you. You put that, plus your faith and your intuition at the forefront, a single obstacle cannot possibly fall on your path, Group 3. Your spirit team wants to remind you that you are a force to be reckoned with. And you're very graceful doing it. You're very loving doing it. You're very understanding doing it too. You have a gift for systemic change, big or small. And whether that is organizing your daily routine, your business, or creating change in a social justice system, whether that is leading souls to liberation, ascension, understanding, faith, teaching people how to use their intuition, energy work, crystallite. We have healing and crystallite coming out. The star as well. We have Pleiades energy coming out to say hi. You're a divine being, group number 3, and you know it too. Act on it. Your spirit team wants you to see in yourself what you already know. And they want it to get through to your human brain exactly what you came here to do. And the fact that you can do it like that. You're amazing. Holy moly. Again, 3rd time's a charm. I don't think I said that in any of the other readings. That's all I have for you, group number 3. That is what your spirit team wishes that you saw about yourself. What a reading that was. I hope that this helped shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this reading. I'd be very interested to know about what you're passionate about, especially pertaining to this energy, if you feel called to share in the comments. If not, no biggie. And please go check out Psychic Siren Tarot, as she has a synchronistic reading for you over on her channel, since we're doing a collaboration today. Thank you so much for being here, group number 3. I love you. You are amazing. And namaste.